So are people willing to support, or will they end up boycotting Canelo when he fights Liam Smith? So September 17th is just 3 weeks away, and De La Hoya seems to be in full promotion mode. He has big plans for Canelo at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Apparently, according to De La Hoya, Canelo Smith will outsell the last 2 Pacquiao fights in Arlington. De La Hoya has also stated that Canelo is a new face of boxing, and he has taken over from Mayweather as the biggest draw in the sport. Now this, very strangely, could be true, or it could be completely wrong. Even though Canelo did one of the most disrespectful things that one can do in boxing, he gave up the belt without actually fighting, there still are, more or less, a lot of Canelo supporters out there. I'm sure some even believe he did the right thing by ducking Triple G and moving down to 154 against Smith. But let's be clear, there are some tough fights at 154 for Canelo. A Lara rematch, the Charlo brothers, those would be a couple good fights. But the question is, will the general public support Canelo, especially after his huge recent duck against Gennady Golovkin? Now, it is common knowledge that over the past couple of years, pay-per-view numbers in boxing are way down, of course excluding Pacquiao Mayweather. I guess people saying they're streaming, or streaming has affected the numbers. But as we see in the UFC, people are willing to buy pay-per-view if it's a good fight or a good fight card and a fight that they want to see. The UFC seems to surpass 1 million buys several times over the past year, but boxing just hasn't. So anyway, to me, De La Hoya trying to compare pay-per-view numbers in 2016 to numbers of the past could be dangerous. There seems to be more boxing fans willing to spend in the past than there are today. However, with that being said, Canelo seems to be still one of the biggest, if not the biggest star in the sport today. So if Canelo were able to sell against Liam Smith, why would he ever need to fight anyone good again? He just committed one of the biggest ducks in history. And if this fight does well, why would he need to fight anyone good? Obviously, his built-in fan base would support him regardless. So anyway, what do you guys think? A lot of times when De La Hoya says things are great, it's actually the opposite. When he says pay-per-view numbers are looking good, many times they're not. So I know with the Canelo demographic, many times they throw big parties, especially on Mexican holidays. So purchasing a pay-per-view for a bunch of people at a party really isn't that big of a deal. And they will most likely want to have it in high definition as opposed to on a computer stream. So Canelo definitely has that going for him. But are the people going to support? I have to admit, I think they will, or at least enough for it to be a profitable show. I don't think the fight itself makes a compelling argument to actually buy the pay-per-view, but having it at the house on Mexican Independence Day is a huge advantage. I mean, this holiday has been built up over the years. For many, it's a tradition to get a boxing pay-per-view and have a barbecue over at the house. So looking at the contrary, if this actually flops on Mexican Independence Day, it could be devastating to both De La Hoya and Canelo. I mean, De La Hoya and Canelo, for that matter, have wanted to have their fights or take back Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence Day from Mayweather for years. And now that they finally have it, we'll see what they can do with it. So anyway, what do you guys think? Will this fight flop? Will Canelo have continued support? Will the holiday enough sell the fight? 3 weeks away. Just let me know what you guys think. Take care. Have a good weekend.